BackBeat is proudly sponsored by the Santa Barbara Bowl. Welcome to BackBeat, a show highlighting people that make a difference using music in our very own community. I'm Shannon, and we tape our show right here at Playback Recording Studio, a cutting-edge facility for film, television, and music production, located in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara. Coming up, if you've ever wanted to feel what it's like to be a rocker, this is a trip for you. Get your bags packed. I'm chatting with the creators of the Rock and Roll Dream Tours. And the Santa Barbara Bowl, best known for its stunning views and awesome concerts, gives back by supporting education in the arts and music. We visit education outreach recipient Notes for Notes. They build after-school programs for kids to express their own music talents. Also, remember those funny little multicolored xylophones you played as a kid? We found a group of Crane school kids that take that xylophone thing to a whole new level. Plus, a band that mixes a unique blend of harmonies with a rockin' surf beat, Dante Elephante. They'll be playing for us at the end of the show. So keep it here and keep it loud. We'll be right back. Santa Barbara Bowl's education outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for BackBeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production.
For those of you who don't know Notes for Notes, we're a nonprofit organization here in Santa Barbara, and we build these facilities, after-school recording studios packed with drums, guitars, turntables, computers to make beats, and a recording studio. It's all completely for free for any youth wanting to come and learn and make music.
The Santa Barbara Bowl's Education Outreach Foundation made it possible for music boxes to open throughout Santa Barbara, along with the help of Boys and Girls Club and Seymour Duncan. Here in Santa Barbara, Notes for Notes has 2 music boxes, one on the east side, one on the west side.
Got everything from synthesizers to all the recording programs necessary for any of these kids making whatever type of music they desire.
Along with the music boxes here in Santa Barbara, we've opened up a music box in Nashville.
First track coming out of the music box in Nashville. So let's take a listen.
We just opened our second music box studio out here in Nashville in collaboration with the Boys and Girls Clubs. Big shout out to the Hot Topic Foundation, Gibson Foundation, just some of the many great companies and organizations that have helped us grow and made our impact into each community that much deeper. Studios are rocking out here, and we're even starting some really cool collaborative tracks connecting youth between Santa Barbara and Nashville, laying parts here, sending them out there, and even connecting artists and bands from across the country to get in on these tracks.
It's good for young kids to get together and collaborate while they're young. It helps them out with social skills, it helps them out with just, being themselves and accepting and being confident in themselves.
It's an art that really creates and demands that you be very focused and goal-oriented. And those are skills and traits you'll carry on to whatever you do, whether it's in music or not. So at the end of the day, music is, it's a passion, it's an enjoyment, it's a fun activity, but it's creating, that real sense of empowerment and focus in everyone.
Welcome back. I'm here with Chris and Kevin from Dante Elephante. So tell me guys, are all the members of your band from Santa Barbara? And I also want to know how you even became a band in the first place.
Yeah, so I'm from Northern California originally, and Chris and Tommy are from Southern California. But us three met at UCSB. And Chris and I started playing music together in the dorms in freshman year, and kept it up through our junior year.
And you do that? No noise control?
Before 10 p.m., and if they don't get you in trouble, then after 10 p.m. is all right too.
Gotcha, dedication.
But yeah, then Chris was away for the summer before our senior year, and I met Ruben, who he's a local here from Santa Barbara, and we started playing together and wrote some songs, and Tommy started playing with us that summer, and Chris joined in I think September, after the summer.
It was about September, and then we started playing out in IV, some house parties.
House parties?
House parties out in IV. And
I've never been to any of those. They don't get very wild, right?
and then we made our way into the downtown scene and played Battle of Bands in downtown.
Awesome.
And then we just continued playing.
Well, it sounds like an exciting journey. And with that being said, have you ever dreamed about being in a band? Check this out. I got the chance to talk with the guys from the Rock and Roll Dream Tours.
Huckle, job well done.
Yeah, right. Can I be fired now?
I think I did a good job too, even if I may say so. Because I don't care what anyone says, we're all going for a ride.
So tell us, what is the Rock and Roll Dream Tours all about?
You're going to be in a real band with real people who love doing what they do. We're providing the knowledge and the tools of how to get this thing done. How do you form a band and come up with the songs, write a song, and then go get it recorded? So we're going to mentor your way through this process.
We're there to assist, but this is about them. It's about letting them shine through. They get to write a song or songs.
This is not a fantasy camp. It is really a reality life experience that is transformative. For anyone with interest in the history of rock and roll, this is the most fun experience on the planet.
When you're at Abbey Road Studios, how does the dream become a reality?
When you step foot into Abbey Road, you can almost feel the DNA of Beatles coming out of there. And we all get that feeling.
I want to check that room out, I want to see the gear, I want to see the old stuff. You know, there's a lot of history in there.
You do feel the magic. There's no way you can't. And you never know what might come up. One particular Mike Shiflett.
On this piano, okay, Day in the Life, that chord that lasts forever.
How are your artists treated when they arrive at Abbey Road Studios?
Our artists are treated like any other artists in the industry, with total respect as working musicians. When you're watching somebody and they're recording and they're thinking and they're overwhelmed and they are thinking, I am at Abbey Road, and you can watch somebody magically change.
How do you make an entrance into the Cavern Club?
Everybody with us has been prepped for this very moment. We've recorded at Abbey Road. We've done all of our other private tours. We're going on stage at the Cavern Club.
And to be able to experience that live is something that any musician, anybody that's not even a full-on musician, but just has that connection to it, well, I wonder what that would be like.
So how are the band members welcomed and encouraged to actually get on that stage and perform?
You're going to be greeted by people that we know and have had so much fun with for so many years that when you go on stage, you're immediately comfortable. You feel like you're home. We feel like we're home there.
How do you mentor and support those people through that?
It's our job, Jesse and me, to ease those minds. We're going to do this. You're in with us. We're a band together.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank y'all.
So cool.
Look at this. Look at this. Hey,
we are
we're a band.
One of the most fun experiences they might have is doing our pub crawl, where we're going to go out with a couple of the locals who know all the haunts.
You know, you meet people along the way, and those kind of things you can't calculate. And that's really the magic of this journey. We've had drinks with Alan Williams, the biggest fool in the music industry, known as the man who gave the Beatles away.
If we feed him some red wine with ice, that's what makes him happy, and then the stories will come out.
To me, I get very nostalgic when I come here. Like it's
already back to that day.
It's already back to that day. Don't you think that's awesome?
Awesome. It's awesome. What is it? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awful, yeah.
And the next day we may go over to the Casbah Coffee Club, which was owned by Pete Best's mom, the original drummer of the Beatles.
It's the journey and not the destination so much.
I have to rate it as one of the all-time greatest weeks of my life. If I could relive that week exactly as it happened, I'd do it in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't change a thing.
When you get stories like that, we're really proud that we've had some influence on their life, even though they did it themselves. I mean, they really put themselves out and they worked really hard.
It exceeded my expectations, and I just can't tell you how much fun it was to run around England with 4 guys and be the singer in a band. And people saying, hey, you did great last night.
If I didn't have time to go through 20 years to get to here, I would do it. I would do it tomorrow, and I'd probably do it a week of my life every year for the rest of my life.
And I'm actually from England. I was born about 20 miles from where the Beatles all started. So for me to get to go back and see it from the perspective of a real rock and roll band was just an absolutely incredible experience. We had some great gigs, really good time, met a lot of great new friends, and played great music. I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat.
So why should someone come on the Rock and Roll Dream Tours?
It is hard to describe in words the Dream Tour experience. What you come back with is a new belief in yourself and what you can do, and that you're part of something that you've had such an admiration of forever.
Here's a short note for you. John Lennon of the Beatles shoplifted one of his harmonicas from a store in Holland. He recorded Love Me Do with it.
Many of you probably remember plunking away at one of these color-coded xylophones as a kid. For me, I think it was a Christmas gift. Unlike most percussion instruments, the larger xylophones can produce a pitch covering 2 to 4 octaves. Much like drums, it's easy to make a lot of noise on it, but making it sound good is very complex. During the 1920s, the instrument was widely used in American pop music, along with its cousin, the vibraphone. It is still common for jazz, Broadway, and orchestras. The theme song for Sex and the City is played on a vibraphone, and bands like U2, the Rolling Stones, and the Violent Femmes have used the xylophone. It is a great instrument for introducing young kids to music.
Welcome back. I'm here with Tommy, and Tommy, you're the drummer of the band. And I am dying to know how you guys got your name, Dante Elephante. There has to be a good story behind that.
It was a pretty long process to actually come up with that. Like, we were thinking for a while. Had a couple different ideas, you know, living in IV. A lot of people are drinking Natty Ice, so we were thinking Cincinnati Ice would be a pretty funny name. Didn't really stick. Yeah. Then one of the house parties we were actually playing at, our friend's girlfriend just came up to us and was like, "You guys don't have a name yet?" And she came up with the idea of just saying Dante Elephante would be a really cool idea. And
it rhymes.
Thought it rhymed. Sounded tough, but not ultra tough. You know? So we were looking to be flashy, but you know, whatever.
Well, that is very interesting. I was expecting something a little bit more deep, but I love it. I love it nonetheless. It's a great name, and it kind of goes with your guys' vibe anyways of your music. So good story. And rarely heard as an ensemble, these amazing kids take the xylophone to a whole new level. Here are Vibes.
Vibes is our xylophone and marimba performing ensemble. And every year we have auditions at the beginning of the year when we fill the empty spaces left by the 8th graders who graduated with new students.
Some people don't make it, but I was lucky enough to make it, and it's been a great experience.
I'm so glad I tried out, and it's been a really awesome experience. And I have 2 younger sisters that are going to be here next year, and I really want them to be invited to have the same experience that I did.
We have 22 students in our ensemble, and we rehearse in the mornings before school, and we have 1 class a week that we can get together with both our 7th and 8th graders. Before that, we have a 6th grade ensemble called Chops, where they learn how to play, and in 7th grade we have Mallet Masters, where they learn how to play a little bit more. And by Vibes, they're ready for tour. When the students come into Vibes every year, they're each one an individual. Some of them may be musicians, some of them have never played an instrument, but they have the passion. And when I do the auditions, that's what I look for above all, is the passion.
I'm not a musical person at all, but I love vibes. And ever since I got here in 5th grade, I knew I wanted to be in vibes in 7th grade and 8th grade.
Never really been into instruments except for xylophones. That's the only thing I've ever done, and it's because of Crane. I never would have played an instrument in my life except for vibes, so I'm so thankful to be in vibes.
By the time we do this for 4 or 5 months, they're ready to go on tour and ready to take it out to the world.
When we go on the road for our tour, we take a U-Haul van and we get all the instruments and we somehow fit everything into one of the trucks, and we pack everything up, take everything we'll need, and then we get to the school, we unload, we get all the instruments out, all the mallets out, everything you need.
I play with them. I play a rattle instrument that keeps the time together and tells them when to make the changes to the next section. There's a little bit of dancing involved too, and so I'm kind of all over the place leading them. Our xylophones are really identical to a piano keyboard in the way it looks to the students. We have the white keys and the black keys.
They're different xylophones, so there's like sopranos and altos and basses.
Sopranos have a really high sound. They're the highest of the instruments. And then altos are sort of in a medium range. And then the basses have the lowest sound. And there are 2 big basses, which pretty much keep the beat of the entire song. And then 2 marimbas up in front, which usually have the lead of the song.
The xylophones are kind of like a piano. They have the same keys, except the keys are wooden, and then they have metal tubes underneath, so they have a different sound, like a buzz.
We call it the marimba buzz, and in the big instruments, every stroke fills the room with extra vibrations. They have to know everyone else's part. Sometimes they will also go and play someone else's part or mix them up on the xylophones.
We learn the different songs and switch around on the xylophones, and you really have to know everybody's part because it really keeps the rhythm and it helps you know where you are in the song.
This year was our 8th year of performing for other schools in Santa Barbara, Ventura area. We've been as far north as Solvang. We've played in Pasadena, Santa Monica. One year we played at Magic Mountain.
I love watching people's faces when we start playing because it's such a different sound than you normally hear.
I get really nervous, but when you start playing, it just goes away for me because you're just so focused on your instrument.
They are, above all, passionate about music. Whether they play another instrument, I believe that almost every vibes player will leave this school wanting to play music.
Here's a short note for you. The sound of Fred Flintstone's twinkling toes at the bowling alley aren't made by his toes. They're made by a xylophone. we are again. And this time I have Ruben, the singer-songwriter of Dante Elephante. So, Mr. Ruben, how and where do you get your inspirations for all of these awesome songs you come up with?
Well, I think it's mainly come from my love of 50s and 60s pop. I've kind of grown up with that all my life, and as I got older, 90s alternative really just kind of dominated my life. So,
that's my generation.
Yeah, so my obsession with the 90s just keeps growing and growing.
Really?
So, yeah.
You like to revisit it?
Definitely.
So did your mom or dad listen to 50s or 60s?
My grandmother listened to a lot of 50s and 60s pop, and I was forced to watch Grease a lot growing up, which is one of my favorite movies now.
It's a great movie.
I love that movie.
Don't underestimate Grease.
Yeah.
So, how often do you come up with new songs? Like, do you guys kind of stick to the same ones? Are you constantly coming up with new songs?
I'm constantly writing. There isn't a time I'm not writing. I have tons of like country songs I write on my own, and just random things I just have to write, you know, or else I'll go stale or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Stuck in your head.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And so where does your guys' specific sound come from? Do you think it's a combination of all those different influences?
Yeah, I think it's just everything, you know. I have a theory, if you listen to good music, you'll play good music. So
I like that theory.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let the music begin. Here's Dante Elephante playing their song All the Time. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. And please remember to support music and musicians in your community. I'll see you next time on BackBeat. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for BackBeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production. If you would like to be on BackBeat or have any ideas or interesting stories of people that make a difference in our community by using music, please go to our Facebook page and search SB BackBeat.